Hello, and welcome back to Monopoly Tycoon. I have updated to... Now, actually, I should probably tell a story. I learned that the 1.4 version of Monopoly Tycoon is technically a fan-made patch that fixes some stuff, but also breaks some stuff, so that's why it breaks some stuff, is because it's fan-made. Anyway. But I have updated to the 1.4 patch. And I had forgotten that the patches in between the 1.0 version of Monopoly Tycoon and the 1.4 version of Monopoly Tycoon, because it was added in there somewhere, allow you to play in windowed mode. So now I can see how long I've been playing. So now this will allow me to actually monitor OBS while I'm playing Monopoly Tycoon, which is a good thing, because God, I hate not being able to monitor OBS while I'm recording. It's the worst. But we've completed all the tutorials. See, all the tutorials are completed, and it's a good thing we did it before we upgraded, patched the game, basically. Because, building, creating a shopping center, and I think getting a monopoly are all broken. But the rest of the game isn't, and there's a campaign button now. And now there's also skirmish mode, sandbox mode, custom scenarios, and that's it. Sandbox mode is basically you and nobody else, and you just build with unlimited amounts of cash. Skirmish mode is basically the skirmish is basically this is you making your own campaign. So basically you so no objective would be, there is no win condition. The game runs until all players have quit. Would basically be, if you wanted to play a game with your friends and you wanted to, So we're gonna go into no objective with Park Filler on Bronze Cup with 2 computers. I want you to be somebody else because I'm going to be Race Car, because Race Car is best car. Race Car is best token. We'll have 1 gal, so let's actually read everybody's description. So we'll go into the starting out scenario in single player campaign. And the description for starting out is you must make 100 sales of any commodity in order to complete this level. You will need to build businesses in order to make sales, so pick a block and get started. To see how many sales you have made in total, check sales in the player comparison panel. That's not what we're here for. We're here for the description of each token. So let's look at the description of each token, starting with Race Car. Race Car is I'm not going to read them out. I'm just going to pause over each of them slightly for a short amount of time. I haven't seen these myself in a while, so I'll actually read them in my head. And I'll leave them on screen as long as it takes me to read them in my head. There might be sound in the background because my grandma is doing something. Don't worry about her. She's fine. She's not going to interrupt me. Right, Grandma? We have a kitchen table, so are computer desks. We have 2 computers, but one of them like an older computer. We're not like or anything like that. Our computer desks are in the living room. We don't have like a dedicated office space. That's why there's a lot of sound going on in the background in my Let's Plays. So like the kitchen and the dining room table are adjacent to where the computer is, and the dining room table has been covered with stuff for a century. Not like obviously, these descriptions are more apt when you play against them as computer players, because they will play to these archetypes. Sorry, I clicked off and I forgot that would make it that it doesn't play sound in the background. Also, I hope you didn't actually see what I clicked onto, because it wasn't anything like nasty or anything like that. It was just like something. It was just a text window of me and one of my friends chatting, but I just wanted to see what they had to say. But I didn't want you to see what my handle was, because it wasn't the Bob-Omb. So I didn't want, like, one of my other personas getting connected to somebody to figure out who I am that I didn't want. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, we're moving on to the next character. And this is one of the interesting things, is I always thought Scotty Dog as being male. And this is, again, the thing I was talking about in the previous episode, where you know, you're gendering the tokens when they're just tokens, but I always saw Scotty Dog as being male because it was the Scotty Dog, and the Scotty Dog in Lady and the Tramp was decidedly male. But, like, here, Dog is female, but I guess it makes sense. And also, they say it's a terrier. Well, it is. It's a Scottish terrier, right? Yeah. Also, a lot of, like, one of the things that's interesting to me about Monopoly as, like, a whole is, like, what are the names of the tokens? Because, like, in some games it's race car, in some it's sports car, in some it's car. In some games it's Scotty Dog, in some it's dog, in some it's, you know, so, like, you know, is it battleship? Is it just ship? I love these different, like, takes on Monopoly on what are the tokens called. You know, cannon is always just cannon, but what does the cannon look like? You know, like the cannon token has always looked like the same in the actual pressings, but like in certain computer digitalizations of it, it'll look different. It's just, you'll hear me talk about this a lot, but I'm just fascinated by the history of Monopoly and the story of Monopoly, and then the way that like digital versions of Monopoly kind of change and twist and play with Monopoly. You know, there's some things that never change in Monopoly, like the imagery of the four corners of the board is so iconic that like they're, you can't change those. But you know, if you're making a legalized, you know, a legal exact licensed version of Monopoly, you can't change the four corners of the board. But you know, the other ways you can mess around with the spaces is so interesting and unique. It's really interesting. It just fascinates me. Monopoly does. I do like that they made the jockey a cowgirl instead of a generic cowboy or I like that they made her a cowgirl. That was a good take, and Monopoly Tycoon, I feel like. And I do love that each of them has a different color. Some of them have similar colors to another, but like horse is like this shade of blue, and then we go to ship and he's like this shade of like blue, but it's like an aqua. It's really fun. They all have really fun like character personalities. Yeah, and I love this story behind Iron. Iron used to be a maid, but now she's like this big businesswoman. I love the stories behind these characters, and it's just like, oh, they just took the tokens and gave them human characters and personalities, and it's just like, oh, it's just inspired by a little token. And it's kind of like the opposite of like, I guess, Clue, where like the original version of Clue like was, I don't know how old Clue is, but I do know that in at least one version of Clue, they used wooden colored pawns, but then obviously the people were printed on the cards. So here, you know, here's the people represented by little colored tokens. And then now here's the famous tokens represented by people. And we never see this again. Like, Monopoly Tycoon fizzled out. I think this was one of the most genius things ever done with the Monopoly property, ever. And it just, nothing happened to it. Like, there was never like a Monopoly Tycoon 2. There was never anything done with this idea. Battleship is another one of my favorite characters in this game. I just like his design. He looks like somebody. He looks like he's got a Hawaiian shirt and a captain's hat on, and he's got this big full white beard. He just looks like, I don't know, a good character design. He looks like somebody's dad. Let's put it that way, like a good dad. Or grandfather. He looks like somebody's like grandfather or uncle or something. He's just a cool looking character. Also, the blue, this aqua color and white go together really well in business awnings. The same way red and white do in like really classic business awnings. Also, there's really fun stories about where the tokens in Monopoly come from. Like, everybody has their theories, and like, I was always like, oh, they're representative of, like, you know, richness and poorness. Like, the wheelbarrow was like, oh, you have wheelbarrows full of money. And like, the iron was like, oh, you are a poor working class person. But no, they're just like there because they were from other Parker Brothers molds. It's really fascinating. Eventually, eventually they started putting in different ones from like the money bag token that they added in like the 90s was supposed to be like, oh, Monopoly is so famous for like how much money you get in it, and it eventually did become, they started theming it around Monopoly. Like, I don't know, hard to explain. Like here, they explain Shu has worked his way up from the bottom, and I always thought like the shoe token was in there because like when you're really poor, you hide your money in your shoe. At least you did in the 30s. Or like the car was supposed to be there because it was a fancy looking car and it was really expensive, and then the jockey, the horse, was like, you know, when you were, you know, rich, you bet on horse races. But then again, so did poor people. Everybody bet on horse races in the 30s. This one's just a bunch of puns. This explanation. I like Thimble because Thimble's design is very like later. Like everybody's design is kind of not placeable as in an era. Like except maybe like race cars is very like 1930s racer, but then like we have Thimble, and Thimble is very 1980s. Thimble's life story here reminds me a little bit of that one gal. Reminds me a little bit of like she's got a lot of like her story. Her story reminds me of like Rarity trying to get into Canterlot fashion. That's funny. This is not my first time revealing that I am a Ronin, but probably my biggest series where I will mention it, or I have mentioned it yet. Because the other one was Friday Night Lights, which was just kind of a... And then we're back to race car. But that's not what we're doing today. We're not actually playing the scenario. I just wanted to show you all everybody's descriptions. I wanted to play skirmish mode, no objective, on the Monopoly, on the park filler map. With Mia's race car, we'll have two pawns, we'll have a horse, and let's have Shu. And we'll just play until we hit like 35, maybe 45 minutes of recording time. Select the block by clicking on it in the main display or via the map in the bottom right. And I'm going to pick let's see what's available. Let's see here. Let me select the block to pull. Everyone that has an apartment on it has a... You demand clothing and movies. Well, okay, let me go to Ventnor then. Actually, let's go to States. States is a little easier to go for. Okay. Then, stop polling. Right. So the reason I picked this one is because there's some landscaping on the, we'll actually go over here and we'll look at this landscape. There's some landscaping in the built-up blocks, and those are nice to look at. I like seeing landscape. But we'll get to see some, so we'll build a detail. They wanted, what did they want again? Clothing and movies. So we'll build a clothing store first of all. Right about here, maybe a nice big clothes store. The stakes is pretty low, so we'll leave it at a low quality, but we'll make it 3 floors in this style. Maybe 4 stores. Nice big clothing store. We're just playing to have fun. There's no... And here you can see some of the really cool things about the different types of buildings. And then we'll have a little movie theater for when they get to nighttime. We'll build it right here. Oh, I didn't want residential, I'm sorry. We'll scroll down to the bottom. Cinema. That's my favorite style of cinema, only because there is a building model that I don't have installed that will look like a old style, like Art Deco cinema if you build it like this. But I might install that before the next episode. Oh, I have a card. Should I take it? I might take it. I think I'll take it. I'm taking my card. You have collected 80 bucks from every other player for organizing a special event at City Hall. I got money. Nice. It is now going to be 6 p.m. in 30 minutes, and the cinema will open. Let's look at sales. I have 0 sales. Well, that's not good. Oh, nope. Now I have some sales coming in. Oh well. I don't care about sales. I'm just here to show you how the game works. Let's see here. What else does this thing want? Toys. They want toys. Let's build a toy store for tomorrow. Let's build it smaller. A little bit smaller, because I've built fairly large things so far. Maybe I'll build it nice and snug right here. 2 out of 5. Yeah, we'll build it like that. And we'll build it that style, I think. I am at 33 sales. That's not bad. She's doing pretty well. Let's do Empire value. Shoe's doing very well. I'm second in Empire value. That's probably the best thing to base yourself on. This is the baseball stadium right next to, I think. Hello, Ducky. What do they want next? They want books. I can happily build a bookstore. bookstore. Let's build a... Nope, nope. Bookstore like that, probably. Ooh, I kind of like that. That's pretty cool looking. Maybe in a different texture set. That, the blue texture set. I love anything with the these and anything that have when it has like just the roundel sticking out. Let's look at some competitors though. Here we have a doctor's office and another clothes store. Ooh, a competitor. Here we have the fire station, I think. Oh, the police office, which is also the fire station. It's like those fire trucks look like British, certain British. Let's see here. Here's an apartment, and you can see the little roundels that go on every single apartment and hotel. Oh, there's a toy store there. I guess they just wanted more toys. Then that toy store could provide. Books, fish. Fish is the next thing they want. Looks like Horse is all building on the purples. And Shoe is building mostly on St. Charles and Kentucky. I also built another apartment on Kentucky. Fish is the next thing that people on Virginia want. Okay, I can give them fish. Fish they want, fish they shall have. Fish markets can be built pretty small, I think. I like this style. This one has the little roundels that I like. They don't have the logo on both sides, sadly. Just on one side each. And grocery store, there's already a grocery store there. And there's already a cafe. A bakery over here. I don't think there's a bakery on the other one. Is there a bakery over here? Yeah, there's a grocery store. And a diner. So, a bakery I could build. Horse is doing really well for him. I think. Let's see what other nighttime things they want. Oh, they want dance. They want dance. What I should do is I should probably build on the door. We want drinks. What do you have here? We've got ballroom, restaurant, and a bar. Oh, so you've got some things already. Drinks, fruit and veg, meals, furnishings. Okay, drink, fruit and veg. And vegetables. Home, restaurant, bar. We don't have, oh, it's 1935, by the way. The day has turned, and the years have gone by. Food and veg. Yeah, there's no thing about it. So let's do that then. Do retail, grocery store, and we'll do it medium quality. Oh, I kind of like that. I like that one. I'm gonna take the card. Oh, I'm not the owner of Gasword. No, I wanted retail. What else do they want? Meals, furnishings. Ooh, I kind of like that one. Ooh, I went into the red. Okay, well, I look like I'm earning money, so. I didn't pay attention. Whoops. I should earn enough money tomorrow to not be worrying about that by tomorrow. You can see I'm not really great at this game, but I'm not good. Oh, there goes a plane. Somewhere. I don't know if you can actually see planes. Ah, here comes the van. And new cars. Hopefully. But yeah, it's 1940, baby. Doobity doobity doo. Bum 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 bum. I need to make some quick money, I think. Ooh, ouch. That hurt. I need to make some money. But hey, the city can drink legally again. There goes the moon. Oh, look at that flame. Ooh, it's a tri-motor. Cars are still the same. I don't think the cars upgrade until like 1950. I don't think I'm gonna make enough today. I just don't have enough storage. Oh well. I'll do better when I play the actual game. This is just me showing off the game. You know, in a better way than the actual... I'll show off the municipal blocks that I haven't shown off yet. So here's the marina. Here's the museum and the art gallery. Here's the police station and fire department. Here's the hospital. Which actually kind of reaches into the big central park. There's the school and the library, which reaches kind of off into the distance. Sort of. It's bigger than like that park right there, I think is part of the school. Here's the zoo. And apparently this entire thing is blue. So it's not a very big blue. Zoo. Oh my god, that joke's back! I thought I killed it! This is a bus and taxi center. You will see taxis enter and leave it. And then cars will also go into and leave it. This is the airport. I don't think tram cars ever exist. Oh, a train. Oh look, there is a train. Oh, that's right. The trains are on both sides of the thing. And then finally here's that's the marina. Okay, let's look at the utilities a bit closer. Here's the electric company. God, it's disgusting. I love it. I think it's coal-fired, probably. Just look at that big smokestack. Here's waterworks down on Mediterranean. What the heck is going on here at Mediterranean? Is this a medium build quality? Oh wow. What are you doing building medium build quality on Mediterranean, of course? Here's waterworks. Here's gasworks. And here's my favorite, telecoms. It's this big brick building with a big thing. Anyway, I'm gonna take this card and it's gonna kill me. Oh no, that's cool. It's not gonna help me because I'm going to be knocked out at the end of this. At the end of this night, once it gets 12. So we don't get to see the difference. The 40s music is my favorite. It always reminded me of the music from Monsters Inc. Before I realized that was the band. Before I realized I loved the band, essentially. Dang it. Oh well. I've lost. You will probably be seeing that a lot more. A lot more often than just that. Alright, that's enough for me. Thank you for joining me. In the next episode, we'll start the actual campaign, and I will do, I don't know. Maybe not the actual campaign. Maybe I'll play more, just goofing around. But I will do the campaign. For sure. I might need to practice it a little bit. I need to practice the game.